everyone, welcome back to alkaline hydroxide 784, and this is the first the day before the paper thing. I don't know, the TDBTP. Yeah, I don't even know why it has an acronym. Don't ask me. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep this within 10 minutes, as with every other, you know, TDBTP. Yeah. So today I'm going to talk about the GP paper 1 and what you should take note of the day before the paper, obviously. That's the point. I know you'll all be very nervous at this point because it's usually the day before that you're very nervous, especially when it comes to subjects like GP, which tend to have quite a bit of uncertainty. Like you're not exactly sure whether you will know all the information that you eventually put in your essay. You're not going to be sure whether you will be able to understand and answer the questions in the paper 2. But I'll talk about paper 1 today in this particular one, and there'll be another one for paper 2. So for paper 1, the first thing you should do the day before the paper is obviously think of whether you definitely know all the content that you need. But I suggest that you don't spend the day just trying to cram content unless you already finish focusing on all the other aspects of the paper 1, I guess. So I think the first thing you should do is to look back at what you've revised through, what you've read. Like look back as in not actually look at it, but think about it. Think about which which topics you've actually looked at, and come up with a strategy for the exam day. Obviously, because strategy is very important. Because once you've already come so far with your revision and reading up, doing all the things that you can do for it, and now the only thing left to do is to do the paper. So when you do the paper, you need to go in with a strategy so that you don't have to think too much about what you need to do first, what you need to do next. So once again, I'll be sharing with you what you can strategize about in your paper, and I'll try to keep it within 10 minutes. It's already 2.5 minutes. Okay, so okay, let's go through the process together. On the day itself, you'll be going into the exam hall, and the teachers will give you the paper, the foolscap, whatever you need for writing it down. I believe you'll get a booklet, not really a foolscap, but okay, that's the point, is you get stuff to write on. And of course, before you even enter, make sure you have sufficient pens or whatever that you need, because if your pen runs out halfway through and you don't have any other usable pens, then good luck to you. So I suggest just taking a brand new pen and putting it into your pencil case. Even if you know that your existing pen has enough ink left for that paper, please take at least 2. You can bring 2 if you want, just for good measure, in case one of your pens decides to be dried up or something. Yeah, just take enough pens for your paper 1. That's important. And the other thing that you can bring is maybe a pencil, because you can use it to write your outlines and not waste your pen ink on that. Yeah, and also make sure you're clear, you had enough sleep the day before. So make sure to sleep early. As much as you are scared that you don't know all the things that you need to know for GP, I mean, you can never really know all the things in this world. So just accept that and go and sleep. Like get enough sleep. Because as I said, when it comes to GP, strategy is quite important. And one of the strategies is to be alert, to sleep, and make sure your mind is refreshed. But it also kind of depends on whether you're a morning person or a night person, so I don't know. But for most people, this should technically work. Sleeping will make them more alert and more ready for the paper. Now, of course, before the paper, if you feel nervous or anything, just make sure to take some deep breaths. As usual, as in any paper, just do some deep breathing and make sure you're mentally prepared for the paper. And don't overthink about all the things. Don't do the looking back at what you revised like 10 minutes before the paper. Do it the day before. Finish being nervous the day before, and then sleep, and then you will not be nervous anymore, hopefully. It kind of works for me. I don't know. Yeah, so when you go in, you'll you get all your papers, you can take out your pens and get them ready, put them in whatever position you need. But try not to keep too many stationery on your desk, like, don't keep your pens all over the place and make it a big mess. Just keep one pen outside, and you can put your pencil case either on the front of your table or below or whatever. Just do that. And then once the timer starts, you would, of course, before that you can read once again because you have some time to do that. But once it starts, the very first thing you need to do is to look through all the questions and to quickly decide on one of the questions. And the best way to do that is to first of all remove the questions that you definitely do not want to do. And after you do that, if you have 3 questions left, then good for you. If not, you can try going through another round of which questions you definitely do not want to do, because it's easier to choose questions you do not want to do rather than questions that you want to do. You know what I mean? Yeah. And once you have about 3 questions, think about each question carefully. Consider how straightforward the question is, what topic is based on, what examples that comes to mind when you look at the question, or what points more importantly come to mind when you look at the question, and stuff like that. So as you consider each of those factors, you internally get this sense of confidence for one of the questions. One of the questions will give you the most confidence when you do the question, like in terms of attempting it. And I think you can follow your gut feeling and choose that question. Of course, the gut feeling also has a certain basis based on the factors that I just mentioned, Yeah. So, like for example, there could be a very straightforward question that, you can definitely, like a very straightforward question might be easier to answer, but sometimes if it's not the topic that you are familiar with, then don't answer it. But if it is a topic that you can answer, then definitely choose the straightforward question because it saves a lot of time on your thinking. But if you really feel that you have a point to make one of the questions, it literally calls out to you, then I think you should do it because you'll actually have more interest. You'll put more effort into actually doing the essay properly. So that's important too. So make sure that you somewhat enjoy doing the questions, that your exam isn't so painful in a way. And also you'll feel less stressed if you enjoy the topic or if you know the topic very well. Okay, so once you've chosen your question, you have to plan really quickly. You use your pencil and draw up a very quick plan. The main thing that you need to focus on is getting the points, like the arguments. Even if you don't have all the examples yet, like there's something but you don't remember it yet, you can think about it as you write, but the points are very important. If you have good points, that's what makes a good essay for the matter. Even if you have really good examples, if your points don't work, then oh well. But of course, you also need examples, so make sure your examples work with your points. So if there's any examples that come to your mind, just jot it down quickly. You don't need to put all the details yet, just jot it down. You'll remember the details anyway when you look at that little note that you wrote down there. So once you're done planning, and you also should try to plan your intro and conclusion. If you want to match them or something, just write that down somewhere. Okay, so once you're done planning, you should start writing your essay, obviously. So you start with your introduction, and the introduction should contain whatever main argument that you're following, whether you're agreeing or disagreeing with the statement, whatever the statement may be. Remember to take note of the nuances if the question isn't so straightforward. If it's a little bit more nuanced question, please remember to take note of those nuances. And the other important thing you need to take note of is the any conditions, any context that the question might bring to you, and be very aware of all of the words in the question. Read it very carefully. Make sure you understand fully what the question is before you proceed. If at that point of time you feel like you have some doubts about it, then I suggest going and choosing a different question. You still have time. But if you are halfway through the essay and then you realize, oh no, I chose the wrong question, then I suggest you complete the essay. You try your best and complete it, because you don't have time to rewrite the entire thing again unless you have more than 1 hour left. Okay, so yeah, when you write your essay, just refer to your plan. if you have any additional point, any not really point, but additional content to add, go ahead. Just make sure that it works with the whatever you're writing down. And yeah, I already exceeded 10 minutes. I'm sorry. I'll just very quickly wrap this up and I'll say bye, I guess. So yeah, you just write down the essay while looking at your plan, referring to it, and if there's anything you have doubts about or you need to think about, just calm down, don't get stressed out. Just calm down, think about it quickly, and then continue to write it. So hopefully you should be able to finish your essay within 1 hour. And yeah, so 30 minutes is like your buffer time. You should spend less than 1 hour actually writing the essay. And of course, if you're the kind who is really scared about taking too long to write, just make sure that you like just calm down a bit. I'm pretty sure 1 hour is enough time to write an essay. I can if you really need more than 1 hour to write an essay at a normal speed, that means your essay is too long. Don't write it too long. It needs to be concise. So yeah, I think that's about it. If you want more detailed tips, you can watch my GP series. The before the exam that episode for paper one. And with that, good luck for your GP exam. Obviously, get a good rest. Please, enter the hall confidently and calmly and do your papers. Yeah. Okay. So, um, with that, I would like to say okay, actually, okay, right. With that, I would like to say thank you and bye. Please subscribe.